everyone. Today we're going to show you in Megaphone how you upload a new episode and how you add those dynamic markers so that you can insert campaigns, promos, all that good stuff down the road. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we are already in our Megaphone account. We've clicked on podcasts over here, and now we're going to go to the specific podcast where we're going to upload a new episode. Now you do, depending on how you set things up, you do have the ability to save episodes as drafts. This would be an example of that. So if I've set an episode already in here as a draft, I could go in here and I could just add the information there. The other way to do that is to just create a new episode. So depending on how you've set everything up, in this example, I'm just going to create a new episode from here. And here it's going to tell me that I do have a draft available. I'm going to tell it, okay, I understand. First, we're going to create our episode title, right? And so for this, chiropractic, hair during pregnancy. So this is the name of my podcast title. I don't do episode numbers, so I don't have to really worry about a clean title here. This is what I typically do. I write out my summary somewhere else, so I'm just going to cut and paste my summary here. And then for my subtitle, I usually take kind of just an interesting sentence from this, and then I put it up here. So for example, what are the most common pregnancy discomforts treated with chiropractic care? I think that sounds pretty interesting. So I'm just going to copy and paste that up here. Then I'm going to upload my episode. I'm going to go to my desktop because it's here. Let's see. Here's the episode right here. It takes a little bit of time. You can see this progress bar starting up here. It takes a little bit of time to upload a podcast episode. So I usually start the upload process and then continue doing some other stuff. If I have a specific artwork that I want to, go along with this episode, I would add it here. You can drag or drop it, or you could upload it. Just click the upload button. I don't usually worry about filling all this stuff out. This is just kind of my own process that I go through. I'm going to save that for later. And then I click save because I want to show you what's going to happen here. You're going to see this. It's going to automatically go back to your drafts, right? So we were in episodes. Here's episodes. Now we're in drafts because we haven't published it yet. So this is going to take a little bit of time to process. Depending on your internet speed and how long it takes Megaphone to just kind of process uploading the episode and converting it and doing all the fun things it needs to do. So you got to wait till that is complete. Okay, so now our episode, Megaphone has already processed it, and we know because that little bar went away here. So we know that this is available to go back in and continue adding some information. Now I can come up here, and this was grayed out before, but I can go to this add locator button. Okay. And this is where you're going to add your spots for dynamic insertion. Okay. So I click add locator. If you want a pre-roll and a post-roll option, you select both of these. I always come in. This is the first thing I do is select pre-roll and post-roll. You can see what this did. This is my timeline here, and this shows me where my ads are at. So when I added a pre-roll, this like bluish purplish little bubble here, and then over here, my post-roll is like a little orangish color. It popped in. So this automatically just puts something at the very beginning and the very, very end of your episode. Pretty easy, right? Now, what takes a little bit more time are your mid-roll spots. I highly recommend the easiest way to do this is when your editor, which may be you, right? When you are editing your episode or your editor's editing the episode, have them actually give you the time code for where these spots will hit. Okay. You don't need much time. You need like a half a second or so of just space, dead air. It's easier if you have this information in advance. If you have it in advance, then you can come here to this section. Let me show you how this would work. So I know my first mid-roll spot hits at 4 minutes, 45 seconds, and 30. Okay, then I type this in here, click add, and look, it went right to the spot. And I just keep adding them. So this episode has 4 mid-roll spots. So I have, my next one is 07, 11, 10. This goes pretty quickly, as you can tell. 1638.35 and 2455.00. Okay, so I knew these spots in advance. I just typed them out here. That's the easiest way. You could see all these just kind of pop up. I always go back through and I can tell, I've been looking at these waveforms long enough. I can tell that this is hitting right before the music plays. If I'm not sure, I can just kind of put my playhead over it.
Able to
hit the
join us for today's show.
Thank you very much.
And then verify, just with my own ear that, yeah, that's where the ad would totally hit. And then I just go through and I check for all of these. I'm like, yep, I can tell that's where that would be. Yeah, actually, this one I would probably move over a little bit. Did you see how it probably still had the last little bit of my words there? So sometimes I do kind of adjust them, and that looks about right too. So yeah, this changed when I moved that last point. I think it was this one, the 1638. It just changed it down here as well. And if I think that looks good, then I can go ahead and hit save. The other way to do this is if you don't know the time codes, you can just go in here and just hit the space bar and just start listening. It is much easier to do this if you already have the time codes in advance. Okay, so let's say we're done here. We go and we click save. This is going to pop us back into the episode, but what you'll notice here is this used to say your episode had 0 ad locations. Now it says your episode has 6 ad locations. Why 6? Because I have a pre-roll, I have 4 mid-rolls, and then I have 1 post-roll. So that equals 6. Okay. And you may see here, so the file, you saw it processing. That's because it's now marking where your ad markers are. All right. And then from there, once I have that portion of it done, then I come in here and I add the additional information. So this is a clean episode. I know this is episode 128. What's some of the other stuff that I do? I'm going to schedule this. This is going to run April 6th. I'm okay with it releasing. I'm on Pacific time, so I just usually keep it there. I'm okay with it releasing at 12 a.m. Yeah, I think everything looks pretty good. Okay, so then I'm going to come here. I'm going to click save. Let me show you what happens. All right, so now I'm back in episodes, but here you can tell there's a difference between this and this, right? All right, so when you have a little box around it like this means it just hasn't published yet. It is scheduled to be published. Another quick way to kind of check and make sure your ad locations are all good is you can scroll down here, and we want this number to be consistent. With dynamic ads, you don't want some episodes to only have 5 locations, and this one has 3 and this one has 2. You want to see consistent numbers here. So for all of these episodes, they have 6 spots: pre-roll, 4 mid-roll, and a post-roll. Yours will probably say 4, right? Because most shows have like 4 mid-rolls. I just went crazy with my mid-roll spots. So yours may just say 4. Just make sure this number is consistent. If this number isn't consistent, it's going to be really difficult to sell those spots for you. Just the way dynamic ads work, we have to be able to count the same amount of ads in each episode, or we can't guarantee the impression number or the CPM, which is what the advertisers want in order to make a deal with you. So if you have any questions on that, let me know. This is how ad markers work. Have fun, guys.